What is up, YouTube, and welcome to this His Dark Materials Season 2, Episode 3 review and breakdown. Just warning, there will be some slight book spoilers and there will be full episode spoilers in this video. So we had Pan watch Paddington, big reveals, and even major changes from the books, with Lee and Coulter meeting when they didn't previously. We are dealing with the fallout of last week, where the Magisterium bombed the witches and basically declared full-on war with them after denouncing anything to do with the witches and other worlds as heresy of the highest order. Will and Lyra are back in the Cittàgazze after their adventure last week, and much to Pan's dismay, she leaves Will in the City of the Children all alone as she heads back to his Oxford. Lee Scoresby has also been blown off course by a cloaked person with tattooed hands saying return. That person is holding a ring, and well, it's very interesting, and Lee arrives at a town he hasn't been to before. We know that John Parry, or his pseudonym Grumman he goes by in Lyra's world, is upriver, and in the books he was found by Lee, now living as a shaman, looking for the wielder of the subtle knife. The same knife that Boreal has tasked Lyra and Will with retrieving for him, because he cannot. While this is going on, Will has some very bizarre visions of his father and reads his dad's letters as he's still hoping to find him. As well, we know that he's still alive and is a shaman upriver. He's so very close to being a man, and thus he will possibly be taken by the spectres, or at least there is that possibility, and these visions might be a hint that these are the spectres taking him. He also looks up at the tower and is adamant that he sees someone up there. Now we pick up with Lyra once more as she heads to Mary, only for the police to be there, but it's not really the police. But she tries to escape as she realises that she's possibly walking into a trap, but Detective Inspector Walters captures her and interviews her about what is going on in this Oxford. Now, he eventually trips her up about Will, and instantaneously she says, no, he's not here, and he then asks where is she, as she runs off and tries to escape once more. But she runs into the grasp of Boreal, but she still has no idea who this Boreal actually is, and it's just infuriating that she saw his face last season. But she gets in his car, which is a very, very nice Tesla, and well, she is only to get out again. But she leaves her bag, and well, Boreal, nice guy Boreal, goes, you know what, you've left your bag here. But we know that he's stolen her alethiometer. This is the way that she uses to... This is what she uses to find her way in this crazy multi-dimensional world. Now, Lee Scoresby has landed in this town after being thrown off course by Parry, and is in a pub looking for Stanislaus Grumman, aka John Parry. And we learn that he had died, but this is clearly not true. But Lee heads up to the observatory, only to find a man who calls Parry a heretic and tries to kill Lee, only to be killed himself as Lee is captured. Now, Lee really does hate actually killing or anything to do with that, so it will sit heavy with himself. Now, all the while, Mary is trying to use the cave and attempts to find out if Lyra is safe. But the cave throws up the image of a snake, which on the surface is a warning that her and Will are in danger from Boreal, as his demon is a snake. But this is also a big thing for Mary, as she has a huge arc later in the book. Now, later in this book, and also in the third book, The Amber Spyglass, which most likely will be next season, but we're unsure as to how this will be introduced, because the first and the second book sort of overlapped in the first season, and they seem to be merging them all together, and the show's creators did say that they are making this kind of fit TV, and I do like that, because things happen simultaneously, so seeing this kind of changed around, I think works really well. But Mary's arc later is a big one, and she does become the serpent, but I won't go too much into that. More hints that the tower in the Cittàgazze is beyond important is when Will finds Angelica, as he asks who is the man in the tower, but she says it's no one, it's probably haunted, because, well, just look at the place. However, Will later finds Lyra as she explains that she's lost the alethiometer and she's sitting on the bench there, again integral to their whole story and a big thing in their future. But they realise that she can get it back because Lord Boreal gave her a card and it's been a trap all this time. Now, nice to see again is the Bear King. Once more is a new addition because he wasn't really in the second book. But we learn that the ice is melting in that world and they are in danger because the seals are also leaving. And this is all because the window has been opened. But the witches have sent an envoy to the bears and they learn where Lyra went as she's key to the prophecy. And the witches will probably soon be entering Cittàgazze because they now know where the window to the new world is, which is going to be very fun to see. But in another major change from the book was how Coulter finds a captive Lee Scoresby. They are two characters who never crossed paths in the books, but they both love Lyra greatly and want to keep her safe. This was an incredibly touching scene which only worked, in my opinion, as the two actors are just out of this world. The woman who plays Coulter, I looked her up because she's got a face where I just recognise her from everything, and I do want her to be in some huge Hollywood movies in the future because I think she's great. And of course, Lin-Manuel Miranda is always great, but I'm biased because I love Hamilton so very, very much. We learn of Lee's abusive father and hints that Coulter did not have a great past too. He says that he can take the pain, which hits so very, very hard. And they do have a mutual love of Lyra. And, well, she is so valued because she sees the benefit of letting him free and allow him to search for Lyra. And he knows that he will actually keep her safe because he values her life over his. And that means that he will try and stop her from falling in the hands of the church. And it makes sense here that Coulter obviously wants Lyra for herself, but having someone who she knows will look after her, at least if she's taken by someone who is nice, well, that means that she won't be killed or abused like the hands of the church. She then lets Lee Scoresby go, and he's free to go off and continue his plotline. Boreal taunts Coulter by sending her a message saying he knows where Lyra is, and I find his character a bit odd and just a bit of a plot device this season. Mary also then touches the box and can reach out to the cave, only for the dust to come out of it, which is a very curious moment there. It's going to be a big thing as we learn just what dust is in the upcoming episodes. Also a sweet moment was when Lyra and Will go to watch Paddington as she can't stop eating popcorn and she's not used to this world. I feel they're missing a beat by not letting her have childlike wonder at our world's technology. But they then go to Boreal's home and she still does not recognise him, which is weird, and he reminds her of the party in season 1 and what happened, and it all locks into the place. He charges them with getting the knife from the tower as he cannot go there due to the spectres. The knife can also cut through any matter and also into any world, but be warned it does create spectres, which explains Cittàgazze, and he says the man in the tower is the person who made the portals. Now, this episode I thought was an absolute blast. I loved every single minute of this, with the Coulter and Scoresby scene being the absolute best. And finally, we're going to get some more action in Cittàgazze, and I want to see more worlds. But let me know what you think down in the comments. Did you enjoy it? Do you have any theories? Drop them down below. And if you enjoyed it, please do hit a like, and please do subscribe with notifications on so you never miss a video. And I'll see you soon, and goodbye.